Hey,
Yeah.
everybody. Hi. And welcome, everybody, to the next episode of Women Petpreneurs Podcast with your host, Mary Oquendo. My guest today is a really long-term friend of mine, Melissa Jepson. Hey, Melissa.
Hi.
All
Thanks for
right.
having me.
I'm so glad you took the time out of your day to be here. I appreciate that.
It was a real big stretch, let me tell you. I had to wake up late and not shower this morning. I barely brushed my hair for this. I mean, it was a stretch.
I put you out for this, huh?
You did. It was hard. I'm sitting on my couch, man.
All right. So, in case you don't know, Melissa and I have known ourselves for a really, really long time. So, all right. Like most of the podcasts that I do, there's always chit chat beforehand. Okay. So we started talking about a topic which I want to talk about on air, which is work ethic.
Mm.
Okay. But
Mhm.
first, before we get to that, because that's going to be our topic, Melissa, how did you get involved in the pet industry?
Um, it was sheer passion that could not be denied. There was just not a question that I wouldn't be part of it. I actually have a tattoo on my wrist that says paixão, and it's Portuguese for passion, but it means something a little bit deeper. Like it means something that's like a part of you. Like it's part of the nature of your breathing. It says nature of your being. Like it's as natural as breathing to you. Like it is part of you, and that's how animals have always been. Like, it literally never occurred to me to really not have that. So, that's really kind of you say you fall into it, but it's like it had to be so intentional because all I do is surround myself with animals anyway. Like, that's my
Oh,
natural go-to.
like the dog that's sitting in my sweatshirt at the moment.
Uh-huh. Exactly. It makes you feel like a Disney princess, doesn't it?
Yeah. And you know what? There's only a couple of my sweatshirts that he actually likes.
Really?
Yeah, because maybe some of them are a little bit too scratchy on the inside. I don't know what his deal is. Okay.
He's very particular about his comfort.
Yeah. So, you know what? When I find something, and it's usually found at Costco, you know, I have to like run back and get a couple of them because,
Yes. Thank goodness they sell in bulk.
something they sell in bulk. And you know what? Sometimes he has a little gas.
Excuse me.
And then, you know what? Oh, yeah, this has got to go in the washing machine because I can't wear it.
Yes.
Right?
He's like, "Yes, ignore this weird lump, okay?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm not looking down my shirt. I'm looking at my dog.
No, that's okay. You can look down your shirt too. I mean, I do it all the time. I'm just kidding.
Right.
Obviously.
So you, in the last, the way the conversation started was that in the last, what, 12 weeks, you were at 5 different trade shows?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a lot in a 12-week period.
It's a lot. It really is.
Right. But you know what? You're not, you're younger than me,
I've been told.
been told. All right. But I think there's a lot of things I see a lot online about, work ethic and how this upcoming
Mhm.
generation doesn't have any work ethic. Our work
Mhm.
you're taught is to work until we die.
Mhm.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
There's no excuse not to work. All right. And yeah, that's all well and good. But then you know what? You feel you have to work until you die.
Yeah, if you're able-bodied, you work. There
Yeah.
has to be a reason. If you're not working, there has to be a reason. Like, not wanting to is not a good enough reason.
Yeah. My husband, okay, who is a kidney transplant, who had bad knees, okay, was working a physical job because there was no reason for him not to work just because he was disabled. Mm-mm.
Right. No, forget about breaking your body down. That's
Yeah.
not a reason. That's not good enough.
No. He just got a knee replacement.
Mm.
Okay. So I think the point is not so much that this up and coming generation has no work ethic. I think what they really have is work-life balance.
100,000,000% yes. That's exactly it.
Okay. Melissa and I are very much alike, in which we're like type A.
You know what? The really funny thing, I'm only like that in my business. In my personal life, I'm so type B, it's not even funny.
Well, yeah, I could be type B in my downtime, but I have to have downtime, and this is the problem. Okay,
Right, right.
all right.
I know, because you're not actually gonna retire, right?
Oh, well, here's the thing is, yes, I am. And maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow,
Oh my
but
God, that smile, it just flashed across your face. You're so happy at the thought.
yeah, because you know what? I want to be okay. And if I'm being really, really honest, probably my retirement will be type A personality, just in something that's fun. Okay.
I'll accept that. That's okay.
All right, I will have the biggest greenhouse. I will grow the best of vegetables.
You're reminding me of a certain political figure right now. Everybody says I have the best vegetables. Sorry. Oh, wait. I don't hear anything. Did something just get muted?
Oh, you did not. You
Oh
just
no. Okay.
speechless. Well, now you're muted.
Wait, did I mute myself?
You muted
No.
yourself.
It says that it
Well, you're okay now.
Oh, that was weird. I was gonna say I didn't press any buttons. My
Maybe your phone figured out, you know what?
Oh.
Shut her up.
My phone's like, we're gonna do you a favor.
Well, what kind of phone is that, by the way?
It's an iPhone 15. It's the
Oh,
new one because my one before this was an iPhone 7 and it started dying.
I know. I've got the iPhone 12, and I'm like, the battery is not what it used to be.
Oh, I know.
So I will probably upgrade to the 16 when it comes out. I'm like hoping that this is fine until the 16 comes out, because I don't want to get the
Yeah.
15. That'll be old news,
I
Melissa.
know. Everybody cool is a 15. So I mean, if you get the 16, you will just be like a trailblazer. Like
All right, so let's talk a little bit about, so you came back home from 5 back to back, basically back. They are back to back. Even if it's a 12-week period, there's a travel time, both ends of it. It's basically back to back trade shows. And I don't know how anybody is doing Super Zoo and All American at the same time.
No, I'm not I'm not. I as close as I am to Super Zoo, like it didn't make any sense for me to even go. I was like, what is the point? I'm gonna have to go from LAX to Chicago to Vegas back to LAX. Like I'm like that type of travel it just doesn't even make any sense to me. I'm like, I can't have that much time off of work. I do have clients that are on regular schedules and having to push that even farther out, like it's just more work for me. Like, I'm like, the logistics of having a business at home along with travel is just silly. And also, too, a lot of the times, like, because I travel, and like do teaching and stuff like that, like, I am traveling for work. And so when I do have trade shows so back to back to back, like, I didn't get a single day off in the month of April. I worked every single day in the month of April because I had so much travel going on, which is not a complaint. I love doing it, but it does to some degree. Like when you're looking, well, at least this is what I experienced when I was looking at my schedule. Um, I do my schedule 6 months at a time, and I put it together like a puzzle, basically, between the grooming shows and my clients. And I was like, okay, like I can fit this in, and I can fit this in, and I can and move this around. Like I'm not considering how I'm gonna feel after each one because I don't know until obviously I experience it. But after the last one, which I very, very, very much enjoyed and loved and had a really amazing time, it was still harder for me to enjoy it as much as I did because I was just so depleted. I was like, "Oh, this is very different than what I was expecting."
Well, that's the whole thing too. I mean, I was pretty much early on, before I was even speaking, when I was an attendee at trade shows.
Mhm.
We had in the Northeast, there was like three, two decent, one big, one decent size, one small trade show, all within driving distance.
Oh, lovely.
Okay. So I would come home from Groom Expo, which is the big one,
Mm-hmm.
and then get in my mobile grooming van the next day and go to work.
Yeah,
Okay. That's exhausting.
it is.
And it's not like my husband thinks it's fun. He goes, "Hey, oh, you're going to Vegas. Don't party too hard." And I'm like, dude, 3 pet first aid classes. Okay. These are 5-hour classes.
So much.
Never mind that I might actually want to walk the show.
Right. Which you can't. You can't walk Vegas hardly in 3 days.
Oh, yeah, it's huge. I know that requires planning on my part. So if you
Mm-hmm.
see me power walking through the show floor, keep up with me if you want to talk to me.
Right.
All right. That's the only thing I'm going to say because I've mapped out where I'm going at the bare minimum.
Yes.
And you know what? I'm got good shoes. Keep up with me. That's all I'm going to say.
Uh-huh. No, I know exactly it.
You know,
Like,
and if
keep
I'm
track of your
talking
steps, all that.
while I'm talking, it's because I'm power walking. Give me a break.
Right, exactly. Excuse me.
So you've got 3 days off.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm
So
thrilled.
what are you gonna do with your 3 days off?
So part of it is, I mentioned I do my scheduling 6 months at a time, and I just finished the last 6 months. And the very, very, very like last little tiny part of that is informing my clients what their schedule is because I haven't given it to them yet. So I need to do like a group text of all of my clients of what their dogs like appointments are. So I'm going to be doing that at some point in the next 3 days because I'm really behind on it. I usually have it done by like early May, and it's like June now, and I'm like, like I have your schedule, you just don't have it. So just deal with it. I'm like, you don't need to know what dates you're coming. I'll just call you, right? Um, so yeah, I'm going wine tasting with a friend tomorrow also, which I'm really excited about. I'm going to be taking myself to go see a movie at some point because that's my favorite activity to do by myself, my favorite gift to me. And I haven't had a chance to do it for a little while, so I'm like, this is some self-care time. But yeah, just like kind of little things like that here and there.
All right. So what movie are you gonna go see?
I was thinking I'm gonna go see Babes, which is like a weird indie comedy about like two friends, like two best friends, and one of them gets pregnant. I think it's based in New York, but the trailers looked really funny.
All right. Well, let me know.
I will I'll let you know. So, how are you doing, Miss Mary, in your impending work and work ethic and thoughts and all of that with your retirement coming in?
All right. So for me, it's now planning my day a little bit better. Okay. So this is the time of period in which I work. And when I sit down and I
Yeah.
work, I mean, I work. I mean, I'm not playing on the phone, I'm not doing anything. And you'd be amazed at what you can get done in an hour if you just apply yourself and don't sit and check texts and see what's going on Facebook or play a game.
My ADHD is screaming at you right now. But go on.
Okay. Well, I am fortunate in that in which I can be, all right, let's back up. Right. I can sit for an hour and I can work. No
Yeah.
distraction. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you can't do it for an hour, then don't do it for a half hour.
Yes. Shorter, more manageable.
It's shorter, more manageable. Just do like today. All right. So today I had a podcast, this podcast, not this particular one, but the one before you. I had to get up onto YouTube and process to upload to Spreaker and make the images and do the blurb on that. And then I had to finish up PowerPoint and make a new book cover. Okay. And I did it all in an hour because I was focused.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, once this podcast is over, okay, I'm actually done for the day.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm going out to my, I've got a little problem. I'm trying to figure out a workaround. Okay. And I want to figure out, I'm watching all these stupid YouTube videos. All right. And how to do do it yourself water, self-watering things. So like if
Yeah.
I go away for like an upcoming trade show, okay,
Uh-huh.
I'm not depending on my husband to go out and water my garden.
Right. Because he'd be like, and he'd turn on, I think this is fine.
So he's going to either underwater or he's going to overwater.
Yeah.
Okay. And there will be no middle ground. Okay. It'll be one or the other.
Right.
So I figured, let me figure out and let me test out some sort of self-watering system. So when we finish here, that's my plan. Gonna figure that out today because all the ones I have tried so far on the do-it-yourself has been really stupid, and I don't know how it works for them because it's not working for me.
And don't you love it? Because I always end the video with, it's so easy. Anyone can do it. And you're like,
Yeah, F you.
honestly. Right, exactly. You're like, how dare you? It's
Yeah,
an
so
insult.
it is so, but here's the thing, all right? I will figure it out, all right? Because I've already spent way too much time on it.
For
And my
sure.
other option is to buy something, but all the reviews for like Amazon and stuff are sketchy at best.
Lovely.
So anyway, I will let you know how that goes.
Thank you.
Right?
I'm always waiting with bated breath to know like how things are going in your greenhouse because I know like literally nothing about plants and I'm always fascinated by it. It's like, how do you do that?
Well, you know what? This year is trial and error. We're going to see
Yeah.
what works well and what's not working well, and what did I do incorrectly? All right.
Mhm.
So we'll see. All right. But I'm getting yield so far out of my greenhouse, and I'm very excited about that. I had
So,
raspberries yesterday.
uh-huh. Is it like really yummy?
Oh my God, I have been so disappointed lately with fruits and vegetables at the supermarket. And I understand that, what they pick before it's ripe because it's got to ship. But the thing is not
Right.
as sweet. And then there's such a short window in which they are actually good,
Yeah.
right? So things go bad. So there's like tasteless and it goes bad. Why am I paying money for this? Why am I paying a lot of money for this?
Yeah.
I think frozen vegetables are simply the way to go instead because I think they're frozen at their peak.
Right. Yeah. Like they flash freeze them.
Flash freeze them when they're at their peaks. You know what? I'm surviving like on frozen fruits and vegetables because, I've just been, third world problem, first world problems, right?
Right. Right.
My apple isn't as fresh as it should be.
Take your fist at the gods.
So,
No, not your apple.
not my apple. All right. So, like I said, it's a learning curve. All right. But, getting that back to the whole work-life balance, right?
Yes.
You have to, your life is not your job. It may seem like that. And you know what, for those of us who were brought up with the work till you die ethic, okay, it
Mhm.
can be really difficult to take that step back.
Yes. And add another layer into that if the work you're stepping back from is your business. Because everyone thinks that, oh, you're the business owner, like you're going to care the most about this. Like, of course, that's the case. But that doesn't mean that you need to live there. Like when I opened my business, my ex-father-in-law was like, "Oh, like this is so great. You can, like the old joke, like everyone thinks that you can make your own calendar when you run your own business and it's really like what 12 hours of the day that you work." And I'm like, "I don't want to work 12 hours in a day. Like that's not fun." I
Well,
want my business to survive, but I don't want to have that little of a work-life balance. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, what's the point?
no, I agree because I have always been on the lookout for something to do, something other than what I'm doing. All right.
Mhm.
Let's face it, grooming is physical It's hard on our bodies. And it's nice to see new education coming out regarding ergonomics. And I know you have a great behavior and handling class. That
Thank you.
none of these classes were available when I first started.
Right.
Okay.
Um,
My hearing is not as good as it should because I started too late with ear protection.
uh-huh.
I would hate to see what my eyeballs, the back of my eyeballs look like.
That is like that's a sensory nightmare for me. Hang on one second. I can listen, but one of my dogs is asking to go out. But go on. Sorry.
So, we have not taken very good care of ourselves. I started probably earlier than most into things. This is not a sustainable way of life because of my husband, who was disabled and still working. And we couldn't have two broken down people in the house because you know what?
Right.
Who's going to push whose wheelchair?
Right, exactly. I mean, you could both get those motorized ones, but those are expensive.
Yeah. Then we have to ramp everything,
Excuse me.
yada, whatever. But we didn't want that. You know what? It is why when I first started to teach that this is what I wanted to do. And I wanted to help other people because information that is out there today wasn't out there 20 years ago. And it would be amazing to see the education in 20 years from now. But
Oh my God.
Melissa was one of my probably earliest students back when I was like formulating all of this in my head.
You were, I believe, the first person that really believed that anyone would want to hear what I would have to say. Which for me was a really big thing because I was just like, I don't compete. There's nothing about competing that sounds fun to me. It sounds like a giant ball of stress the entire time, which I don't always handle well. I was just like, there's nothing about that, but that seems to be the platform that makes people think that you deserve to be heard. So it was a really big mental perspective shift for me to have someone that was like, no, you know a lot of information in your own right. Like, even though you have competed, even if you're not an active competitor, like you still have value to what you have to say. And I was like, oh, I do. Okay. But it took, even now, sometimes I'm still like, why is there anyone in this room with me? But then, it's like, it takes over and you do what you do. And it's like, oh, this is so cool,
So that early, I don't know, cheerleading
Yep.
has morphed into create that program.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is a monthly membership. And it has, oh my God, 20 plus hours of pre-recorded educational meetings and group calls. There is a monthly group call. We're doing brainstorming sessions now on the group calls.
That's incredible.
They're amazing. The group has a lot of networking, so everybody works with each other, which is a fabulous. Okay. It's $197 a month. In fact, what was happening before this podcast was a co-working session.
Oh,
So
nice.
again, that whole hour you need to actually, who are you yelling at?
Sorry, I have a dog that's boarding with me that asked to go out just now, and she's like, I'm like, go out, do your business, come back in. And she's meandering, she's sniffing, there's a cat, there's a bird. I'm like, get back in here. I'm like, Bella, get in here. Sorry. I'm sorry.
That was Spirit. He would play the blind card. Spirit, come in. Huh? Someone calling me? Oh no, I'm not.
Right? You're like, your ears work.
Ears work just fine. You can follow my wall. But I don't know where the stairs are. I'll get there. Though
right.
his kryptonite was squeaky toys.
Oh,
All I would have to do was squeak the toy, and you could see him like, I don't want to come. I don't want to come. Hey, troll.
He's like, hi there. Sorry, I just sat back down. He was like, hello. I am part of things now.
And then I would squeak the toy, and if he was still resisting, I'd be like, I'm just gonna give your squeaky to Pooh Bear. And he would like run in the house, like, don't you dare give my toy to Pooh Bear.
You're like, okay, well, if you want it, you got to come get it. I don't know what to tell you.
So anyway, the membership's $197 a month. And if you want to make a difference in the pet industry, you want to change how your life is going, then head over to createthatprogram.com.
Awesome.
Okay, so where were we?
We were talking about work-life balance and working until you're dead and how that sucks, and how the younger generation has a better work-life balance and
And I
how we can better infiltrate it, better I'm not thinking of
incorporating
it.
into our lives. There's got to
Yeah.
be an end to your day. It cannot be
Yes.
continually, you go to sleep and then you wake up in the morning, and then the first thing you do is that you check email, text messages, and phone messages.
Oh, it's even before that. It's your eyes blink open first thing in the morning. It's like, do I need to brand myself differently? Do I need to introduce a different color in my marketing? Should I do another Facebook? It's just like your mind is constantly worrying with ideas always. Like, and even so, it's not even physical things that you have to do with your business, it's the full mental load that you have to carry,
Mhm.
along with most of us also being the heads of our households. Like, we're the ones that, not always, like, everybody's different, but we're generally speaking the ones that take care of the kids and the ones that care for the animals and the ones that do the meal planning and are housekeepers and all. So I mean, on top of our household that you have to maintain, you have your business that you have to maintain and everything that goes along with that. It's just like, oh my God. Like, I don't know how anyone does it without help. It's silly.
So again, is knowing where you need help, number one.
Yes.
You don't have
Hmm.
to do it all. Okay. Uh, I am really fortunate that my husband is a bit of let's call him a detail person. Okay.
Hmm.
So he cleans the house. That's his job.
Oh, that's lovely.
Except my office. It's like, dude, do not touch my office.
Correct. You're
He's
like, I
been,
have to make sure that it's perfect.
yeah, no, it's organized chaos, but still there's a level of organization here, just to be clear.
Yes. You know where everything is.
I know where everything is, don't touch it. Um, but sometimes you can't do everything. All right. And if I would have said anything happens to that man, my first hire is a housekeeper.
That was my first hire, because at the time when I was married, dear sweet husband was just as disorganized as I was, and so the two of us together were like children. So we were like, okay, we need someone that adults better than we do.
Yeah,
It's
cleaning's not on my things I want to do to relax. Now, but here's the
no.
thing.
Mm.
If cleaning relaxes you, cleaning relaxes that man. All right.
I mean, he's a psychopath, but he's your psychopath. So
Yeah, obviously a psychopath. But you need downtime. You need to have that work-life balance. You need to
yes.
set, and it might be a little bit painful, okay? But if you have to schedule the end of your day, schedule the end of your day.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Pick up a book, read, watch TV, crochet, I don't know, garden, like I'm doing,
A hobby, yeah.
hobby, anything. It doesn't matter what it is.
Something that feeds your soul.
Yeah. Okay. And speaking from somebody who is as type A as they come, it can be really difficult to get into that habit of saying, you know what? Computer is off. I'm done for the day. I don't know, read a book, read a magazine, watch TV, sit outside. And it can be really difficult when you're first doing it because you're sitting there going, okay, I'm watching TV.
Yeah. Because you haven't turned that part of your brain off yet.
Haven't learned to turn that part of your brain off. And you tend to gain a lot of weight doing that because now you're bored, you know?
Sometimes you can do it in an activity focused way. That's how my boyfriend is. Like he loves to like if he's really bored, like he will wind down by watching TV and stuff. But like if it's in the middle of the day, if he because he works early, so he usually gets home from work around like 2 or so. So if it's like still in the middle of the day, he'll give himself like projects to do around the house and like he'll be like, you know what, I'm gonna go take the dogs for a walk, and I'm like, okay, go enjoy. I'm like, I'll just be here working. Like
So yeah, it's a habit. It's a new habit. You have to train your brain to shut off. Your brain is going to be so much happier if it has a little, because it needs a little downtime too.
it does.
Your brain actually works better if it gets a little rest.
I know. And the really interesting thing that like I've done so much research into like mental health and all of that, and it blows my mind how important sleep is.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like the one thing that adults can't do well, generally speaking, like we survive on our coffee. Like it's a whole culture of sleep deprived adults. Um, but like legitimately the thing that you can do to give your brain the biggest boost and the biggest like the biggest prep for success is just to sleep. And that's hilarious because most people think of that as being lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they can't physically see you doing something tangible that's of worth as they define it, you're being lazy. And it's like, okay, but like I'm also giving myself rest and function. Like that gives me executive function when I
Mm-hmm.
give myself time to rest and recuperate. Like that's not lazy at all. It's like a human charging pad.
Yeah. Yeah. So you know what? We all need that time off. All right.
Totally.
So what's the next trade show you're going to?
Pet Quest.
Okay. When is that?
That is in 3 weeks, I want to say. 3
All right.
weeks, yep.
What's the one after that?
The one after that is All American. So I had a 6 week break from my last show, and then I have an 8 week break after Pet Quest for All American in August.
Yeah, because I got a little crazies going on. My
Yeah.
next show is going to be the Rocky Mountain Show, which I'm actually
Yeah.
really, really excited about. Okay. It's their second year up. I was not there for the first year.
Uh-huh.
And I'm doing my 6-hour mobile grooming certification class there.
Exciting.
Yeah. And when Tina called me, she was like, you know what? She took that class. I taught a shorter version of it at Super Zoo one year.
Mm-hmm.
That was the catalyst for her and her daughter going mobile.
Oh, that's exciting.
So yeah, actually what I'm really excited about that show, if you've been listening to this podcast, is they're having food trucks there.
Oh,
They,
usually the food it shows is so it's not like bad, but it's like cafeteria food, so
yeah,
that's really exciting.
um, at the Northwest show, they have that little counter, and then I'm not eating that stuff. I'm not eating that stuff.
Yes.
But I mean, Tacoma's got a lot of good restaurants, so neither here nor there.
Correct.
It's just
Tacoma's got
a
great stuff around.
time to go grab something decent to eat. But anyway, got a crepe truck coming.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm actually pretty excited about that one.
Woo!
Right?
I love crepes.
I might like crepes too.
Wait,
And
have you never had a crepe before?
I love crepes.
I was gonna say you said I might like crepes too. That made me think. Sorry.
Yeah, no. That was just being, yeah, no, I like crepes. Okay. There's a really good breakfast restaurant here and they make crepes.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, yeah, just That and their potato pancakes are to die for. But anyway, food motivates me. I don't know, what can I say?
Same girl, same. I mean, come on. We get it. It's food is yummy.
So registration's already open for the Rocky Mountain Groom Expo.com.
Woo.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So I look forward to seeing everybody there. All right. Just don't stand in front of me in the crepe trucks. Just
Yeah. Don't get between Mary and food.
between me and food. That's all I have to say on that one. And then my daughter's baby shower is like right after that. So I'm coming home for a couple of days, flying
Ah.
out to Atlanta for a baby shower, coming back home, and then heading out to Super Zoo.
So very whirlwind.
Yeah. And then my next trade show after that, I might be at Fun in the Sun. We'll see.
Okay.
But
I will be at Fun in the Sun this year.
that's a big long gap between.
It's a big gap.
So I'm looking forward to 3 trips that are crazy. And probably another trip to Atlanta after my daughter has the baby.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, Melissa, I got a free companion ticket that expires at the end of this month, so I better go book that second trip to Atlanta.
I know.
Okay, so where do you want to be with work-life balance?
That's a really, really great question because work is such a big part of who I am. And I think that that's also historically for me been an issue in that I identify so much through what I do. Like when I got divorced, clearly it was a very large life decision that changed many things. And realizing who I actually was as an individual was like really trippy for me. Like I tried a bunch of really like weird new hobbies. I was like, maybe I'll like this and maybe I'll like this, and some things stuck and some things didn't. Um, that's a very long way of answering that. For me, I am somewhat of a workaholic, but I am very guarded and intentional and specific with my time off. If I have a day off, my phone goes completely off. I do not, even if my clients reach out, I don't care. Like I'll sometimes see it, but I completely ignore it. I only answer queries and stuff when I am actually physically working. Like I am very, very clear with when I am and am not available to my clients. And if they break that boundary, then they're not my clients anymore, as far as like getting upset at it. Because I just feel like that's like a respect thing. I'm not okay with it. So I mean, like for me, for someone that is really, really passionate about it, what I do anyways, like it does fulfill me very much to work. Um, but I don't know. For me, it's maybe like, I want to say 60-40, where I work maybe about 60% of the time and then I'm off about 40 or so. Because I really want to make sure that I'm getting enough time with what's important to me in life, which is like my animals and like connecting with people that I love, like my friends and my support base and, you know, my boyfriend, and making sure that like I'm feeding all of the other parts of me too, that I'm not just a groomer and a business owner, etc. Even though those are parts of me, I don't deny it, but sometimes I just set them on a shelf and focus on other things. Um, so yeah, one thing that's been really intentional for me is making sure that nobody has access to me.
That's really important. Is that's no access. The only
Mhm.
people that have access to you are, again, what feeds your soul, not work. Okay.
I'm like, if you're listening to this and you have personal access to me, you must know that you mean a great deal to me.
Do I have personal access to you, Melissa?
Of course you have personal access to me.
Okay, just making sure. Just making
I'm
sure.
like, Mary, how many times have I ignored when you've messaged me? Almost never.
Yes.
I'm always responsive
Good.
because I love you.
Thank you. Oh, well, I love you too.
So you don't take advantage of it.
Well, you're one of the few people that while I was actually on vacation with my family, because we were in the area, I invited you to the pool for where we were staying at. I don't do that for everybody.
I remember I felt so like it was really funny. It was like a very even though I've known you and we've been friends forever, like I still like I was talking to my husband at the time and I was like, "Oh my God, do you know that she invited us?" And he's like, "Okay, we'll just go." And I was like, "No, you don't understand." He was like, Okay." I was like, "No, this is huge."
So anyway, I was glad you came. So for me, what work-life balance looks for me is that, you know what,
Mhm.
I set a couple hours during the day, all right, and I work,
Mhm.
get stuff done, close the book, and go, well, now I can watch whatever stupid TV show Ernesto's watching, okay? Uh, some of the stuff he watches is pretty good. Some of the stuff is really stupid, and I'll play a game on my phone instead. I've got a greenhouse out here. The weather is getting nice. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And when I do travel to trade shows, I do take the time to enjoy an area. Like with the Colorado show, I'm flying into Denver because flying into Colorado Springs is ridiculous. I have to
Oh my
get
gosh.
a layover to go to Colorado Springs, and we're on this side of the country, and I got to get a layover.
Ugh,
But
that's
anyway,
very funny.
it's ridiculous. But someone would fly into Denver, which is like 2 hours out, but I understand the drive is like really pretty.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'm just gonna gonna rent a car, and I'm just gonna drive up from Denver up to Colorado. Colorado.
Oh, it's gorgeous. And make sure you have some time where you can stop and take pictures because it's gorgeous.
Well, I planned on it, you know. I gotta see how much crap I'm bringing because I actually have a booth of that chef's. How much camera equipment do I bring, or I just take it off my iPhone?
I mean, the iPhone 15 is a pretty good camera, so I don't know,
I
just
got the
saying.
12. It's a decent camera.
Yeah.
At one point it was started, but I have real camera equipment.
Yeah. I do not, so that's really impressive to me.
So with all sorts of filters and yada, yada, whatever. In fact, this computer that I got, my new computer, I got it because of the photo software on it.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I wouldn't know anything about it. That's really exciting.
But again, also part of the whole work-life balance. If I'm going to do something, I want to be able to have a little bit of downtime because
Mhm.
my brain needs to shut off from time to time. Oh, got a hummingbird. Got a bird feeder out here, and there's a sparrow, and it's a little tiny little sparrow. I mean, it's like, I don't know, 3 inches. And every once in a while, it sits on that bird feeder, and it's a big bird feeder. There's a lot of seed in there. And he's like, this is my bird feeder. You are not allowed here. And he will,
Oh,
yeah, he will like, no, I don't care. You're 6 times my size. Go away. This is my feeder. When I am finished for the day, then you can come.
okay.
I like his attitude.
I was just gonna say, like, I respond to the honesty.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I make sure I keep it filled for him because I don't want him knocking on this window here.
I
And
know, right? Because I bet he would.
I'm pretty sure he would. He'd be looking in, going, "Hey, what's with the feeder?"
Yeah, he's like, excuse me.
And I've got food for all seasons for the birds too.
That's so cute. I just now had a family of jays, I think scrub jays, that set up a nest outside in the eaves of my roof and like went to town. I have little baby birds chirping in there, and there is so much poop down the side of my house. I was like, well, that's gonna need to be rinsed off later.
We had swallows in the gazebo. It was like, Yeah, we're not gonna clean this until they're gone.
Yeah, pretty much. I was like, I looked at the floor of my patio because we were doing my patio backyard space right now, and I was thinking about getting like an outdoor rug or something, and my boyfriend takes me out and he goes, "No, look at the floor." And I was like, "Oh my God." Like I just hadn't like because I normally like open the door and like let the dogs out and then like like I'm normally not out there. Like I observe them and everything, but I'm usually not physically out there. And I was like, "Oh my God, there's so much bird poo. What the heck?" And he goes, "Don't look at the house." And I was like,
Mhm.
"Okay, so we're gonna wait to redo this for a little bit,
Yep,
couple
yep,
of weeks."
yep. I've got peanuts out. I'm hoping to attract some stellar jays, which we have in the area.
Ooh, uh-huh.
Yeah, but I have had no luck with them. I think the sparrow is like, you will not get these. I don't even want the peanuts, but you can't have them.
Oh, so territorial. There's that work-life balance.
Yeah, right? All right. So Melissa, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Um, if there's anything that the last 5 years have taught me is that literally anything can happen. And so I I have really just I feel like this year has been a really hard year of recalibration for me because so much in the last few years have like kind of knocked me off my foundation, shall we say? Um, that it's been like finding my footing again has been a really interesting self-discovery process. That's a very long way to say that I don't know that I feel comfortable actually even speaking specific goals aloud currently, just because there's been so much, like, I feel like when I have a goal, like, I am single-minded in my pursuit of it. It's not when or, like, it's not if it will happen, it's when. And I'm learning that I wanna give myself more grace and more room to where I don't put this crazy pressure on myself where, like, "Hey, this goal that you had in 5 years may not serve you in 5 years." So, I guess really what my goals are is to discover what those goals are.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a really good, attitude to have because I have 5 year goals. And actually, my 5 year goals actually really truly include retiring from the pet industry.
uh-huh.
You know what? Everyone I say to that shakes their head, go, yeah, okay. But I'm saying 5 years, I can collect Social Security in full
Mhm.
unless they move the bar again on it.
That's neither here nor there, but yeah, understood.
But then again, I may not care at that point, you know? And start, I don't know, photography and gardening. Those,
Mhm.
those are the two things that I want to do. And will I make a business out of them? I don't know. I can't tell you where that'll take me in 5 years. I only know that's the direction in which I want to go on.
Yes. So, okay, I really like how you worded that because I don't know, in the beginning of my life, I had that specific crazy like these are my goals. These are the steps that I'm taking towards my goals. And once I got there, I didn't know what to do. Like I was like, okay, I spent 20 years walking towards this point and now I'm here and now what? So like I love the idea that you're like these are the things that I know already excite me and so that's what I'm going to head towards instead of saying in 5 years I'm going to have a photography business. Like I like that more malleability because I feel like it gives you more breathing room to actually understand what excites you about those things.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? And I'm, I always think I'm a very, very flexible person. Okay.
Yes, I
We
can
will
see
just
that.
kind of see where, where the wind blows.
Exactly.
All
I
right.
can very much relate to that.
Okay. So, Melissa, thank you for taking time out of your day to be here. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right, and everybody join us next week when I interview somebody else making a difference in the pet industry.